ABC's Armando Garcia is in Gina, Louisiana.
The judge here today gave his immigration legal team about 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks, to file any motion for additional relief, to decide whether or not they want to appeal that decision. So that's still going to process. But now, really, eyes are on that New Jersey court and see what they rule as far as relief.
China's 125% tariffs on U.S. goods goes into effect tomorrow, escalating a trade war with the U.S., and so far, no talks in sight. Consumer sentiment fell 11% this month, the fourth straight drop. The NTSB is starting its investigation into yesterday's helicopter crash in the Hudson River off New York City, killing all 6 on board. This is ABC News.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news in depth. Find it in the news section at WGBW.FM. For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. After 6 years leading the Wisconsin Democratic Party as its chair, Ben Wickler has decided to step down. Wickler said it's time to take a pause, spend time with his family, and find new ways to advance the fight for working people freedom and dignity in the country. Devin Remaker of Two Rivers has already announced his campaign to take Wickler's place. Remaker has been the executive director of the WisDems in the past. Party members will choose their new chair for the 2-year term at the 2025 WisDems convention in the Wisconsin Dells in June. A new bill in Wisconsin aims to close loopholes in election bribery laws after Elon Musk's high-profile payments during the state Supreme Court race. The Petition Payment Prohibition Act would ban monetary incentives for signing petitions during elections. Democrats argue this process undermines democracy. Republicans have criticized the proposal as targeting Musk. The bill's sponsors insist it's about safeguarding fair elections. Sometimes it takes weeks, even months, to get footage. In this case, it only took a day. Stuart J. Waddles has a story about police cam footage and heroism in southeastern Wisconsin.
Body cam footage has already been released of a hero in action Tuesday in Racine. The footage shows Officer Max Golden breaking into a Racine home covered in flames Tuesday. He saved a man trapped inside and later went back in to get 2 dogs. The fire did claim the life of 2 other pets and hospitalized 4 people, including Officer Golden and 2 children. They were suffering from smoke inhalation. Fire officials say there were no working smoke alarms in the home. The cause still isn't known.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
The Bucks win again. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks coasted to an easy 136-111 win over the Pelicans in Milwaukee last night. The Bucks have now won 6 in a row, and they have Bobby Portis back from suspension coming off the bench. Bucks head coach Doc Rivers.
We're winning games, and that's what we have to do. Getting Bobby back. I wanted Bobby to play a little more minutes. That's why we kept him in. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff going on for us.
Baseball, the Brewers losing to the Rockies yesterday, 7-2. They open a series against the Diamondbacks tonight. College football, the Wisconsin Badgers spring practices continue in Madison.
I'm kind of envision spring football even more critical and important than fall camp. And I mean that in a sense that you can push guys. I mean, we got to find out who we are. We've got to show and create and make sure we understand what the physicality looks like, just in the sense that hopefully you got a really good idea of what the core nucleus of your program looks like for that team, for that season, and then how do you polish them up to win some football games.
That's Badgers head football coach Luke Fickell. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear tonight, a low in the low 30s. And for tomorrow, thickening clouds but mild. Highs in the low 60s. A chance of showers and storms late Saturday night into Sunday. Highs stay in the low 60s. Currently 57 degrees.
Reviewing the week's legal news with a friend of the court.
Well, I'm looking forward to Saturday morning. I haven't missed one. Outstanding, just like being in school.
It has been a week in the areas of law and government and the aspiration for justice in America. As always, I am delighted. I am honored that you have chosen to spend some of your weekend time with me in discussion.
Amicus, a law review with Jim Santel. Saturday mornings from 9 to 11.
Did you know VA home loans are a key to home ownership for those who served?
In the military, we make a lot of sacrifices, and with the VA loan, it makes it easier for us to get a home.
We were able to purchase this home and then use the money that we were going to use as a down to actually fix up the home. I would tell anybody who is interested in getting a VA loan to just do it.
To learn more about VA home loans, visit va.gov/home loans.
Todd Albaugh.
Hey, everybody, join us next time. We'll take a look back at the weekend news and also talk about outbreaks. It's not just measles in Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who loves the sin but hates the sinner, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Nightlight, ladies and gentlemen. This glorious Friday night in the state of Wisconsin. So great to have you with me as we wind down the week together. What's been a long week, but also a lovely week. I hope you had a terrific day, and wherever you're joining us from, welcome. And I hope we can ease you into the night and into the weekend here at Nightlight tonight. Got a great show tonight. We have a guy who's become one of our best pals here at Nightlight. Joining us tonight at 6:35 will be Sean Hanisch. Sean is a writer-director of movies, and most recently, he is the creative force, along with his partner Kelly Call, behind the film Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. Sean will be here tonight at 6:30 with some big news regarding the film. There is news. So for those of you who haven't seen it in the theaters or weren't able to make it to a Marcus Theater when it was out, we'll tell you where you can see it. Sean will be along shortly, and it will be good to talk to him. I spent some time with Sean and Kelly at the Wisconsin Film Festival last weekend, and I'm excited to ask him about their screening there because I know it went very well. And he's just a really, really good dude. Conrad, Sean and I are basically best friends now.
I agree.
I didn't tell you. You agree?
I agree. I think you guys are.
Could you see the two of us palling around more often?
I think I see a new documentary about your guys' friendship.
Oh, I like that. I like the way you think. Trademark that, buddy. Sean is a good dude, and he will be here at 6:35. And then our friend, why don't you introduce this one, Conrad? Because she's a Nightlight bestie.
Yeah.
And we love her. So tell us who comes by the show at 7:05.
Well, a new radio host for Civic Media, Kristen Lyerly, joins at 7:05.
Pardon me, Dr. Kristen Lyerly?
Yes, Dr. Kristen Lyerly.
She's so cool, she wouldn't even care that you didn't say doctor. That's how cool Kristen Lyerly is, or Dr. Kristen Lyerly. So, yeah, Kristen has a new show here at Civic Media here in Northeast Wisconsin. She'll be along shortly to tell us all about it at 7:05. And then at 7:35, you know what night tonight is, Conrad. The K-Man knows it is, ladies and gentlemen, a BARR Band Friday night. Our pal Terry BARR will be here. She's one of the hosts of Max Inc. Radio, which you can hear on the network from 6 to midnight on Saturdays with Rocker. And I think Jimmy is still part of that. But anyway, they do an amazing job. Rocker is quickly recovering from his heart attack, and they will be back in full force, I have no doubt, at some point in the very near future. But they're still doing shows. So Terry will be here with new music, phenomenal conversation. She's always a blast to talk with. You know, I saw her, it was just 1 week ago tonight. She and Casper were in the studio, and Terry and I got to rock out together in person. That was really fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Did you feel left out? You had to watch the whole thing from Green Bay. That must have felt weird.
Yeah, I felt really left out. I was a little sad,
Would you have danced? Would you have joined in the fun? Let loose?
You know, speaking of dancing,
good,
I'll let you know.
Good avoidance. Yeah, go ahead.
When the ads were running just before the show at like 6, someone walked across, the windows, and I looked at that same moment. We locked eyes, and they started, you know what twerking is, right?
Of course I do.
And I gave that Wisconsin, the finger wagging looked away. I was like, okay, that was really awkward.
Was it a man or a woman?
It was a woman.
Okay. I told you I got flashed.
Yeah.
Right there. I was talking to, I can't even remember who I was talking to. Was it Dom Salvia maybe or somebody? But they had their back to the window and this couple walks by and the girl flashed me.
Yeah.
It's that kind of immoral behavior that I do not condone on any level, Conrad. I want you to know that.
You said I missed it by like 5 minutes.
You did. You would have seen it. And, I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm not saying one thing or another, but first of all, you feel weird no matter who flashes you. It's a strange thing. And I get flashed anywhere from 2 to 3 times daily. So
wow.
I know whereof I speak, but this woman was, well, I've said too much. It was a jarring, strange experience. All right.
You still have nightmares?
No, she looked like a lovely person. Just kind of the mood just caught her, and she felt I got to show these. So okay, and her date seemed okay with it. I assume it wasn't a first date. I don't know, but I will say, I mean, and I don't care. But if they had like ski masks on, I wouldn't known if that was the man or the woman. I wouldn't have had any idea. So, but she was proud. She had no problem showing the goods. And God bless her. So anyway, you had a twerker last night.
No, like just before the show today.
Oh, today?
It just happened like 10 minutes ago.
Was she by herself?
Yes.
See, that's kind of strange.
And the fire truck and the ambulance were right outside too at that very moment.
In case she pulled a muscle.
Just a weird thing.
It is weird. It's weird when, here's the thing. If someone starts doing that when they're walking with their friends, you get the idea they're doing it to make their friends laugh or something. When someone's by themselves, it's like, hey, look at me go. It's like, is she trying to get your phone number? Or it's just kind of strange. It's antisocial almost.
Yeah, I should have waved my phone instead of the Wisconsin wave.
Waved your phone. Is that a thing? What do you do?
Yeah, here, put it in.
Oh, like you're at a concert or something? Just to
put in the phone number.
On. Should have taken some video and gave it to Amanda for the social media. So there you go, folks. That's a show. That's a show right now. Just picturing Conrad getting twerked at. But it goes beyond that. We've got a lot going on. Terry BARR, Dr. Kristen Lyerly, and Sean Hanna. Should be a fun time tonight. And, tonight, Conrad, this is kind of fun. We've been talking about the Nite beer all week, which has been fun. And Amanda came up more or less with our question of the night. She said something about dive bars. And I thought, oh, that's great. But some people don't go to dive bars, I love a good dive bar. But it got me thinking, and that does, folks, bring us to our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
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 Pregunta. Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Questions.
Domanda. What is your favorite place to have a drink or a cocktail? It could be a bar, restaurant, your favorite chair, the deck, by the pool, friend's backyard. Where is your favorite place to sit and have a drink or cocktail? That is tonight's question. Let us know at 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can text us on the Civic Media app. Very easy to use. Most of you probably have it by now. I know we get a lot of activity over the app, or you can text us on the stream if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or X Twitter. Let us know. It's always more fun when you guys participate, and we will read your text on the radio. That is my vow to you. We have another, this is breaking news, Conrad. We don't do this that often, but I don't like to keep the news from the people either. The Hawktua girl, Haley Welch, is back. You thought her 15 minutes were up. They are not. She is not about just revealing her favorite foreplay move to the world, or going on other people's podcasts, or taking your Bitcoin money and running to the Bahamas. Apparently, in her defense, I guess she got cleared of any wrongdoing. So she was not, it wasn't like she was the crook. I don't know what happened there still, but she was cleared. So that's good.
I don't believe it.
You think you think she had?
I think she
nefarious
scammed
intentions?
a lot of people out of money and then said, "Whoops, that was not me. All right, can I do my podcast again?"
You think so? But
I-
she was investigated. I mean, I hope it's not.
I don't know. I just don't believe it.
You know what I see? A new benchmark on the show, a new feature we could do. Conrad investigates. What do you think? I mean, that's kind of cool. All you got to do, and all you have to do is give your opinion. That's what news is these days. Not at Civic Media, but just have an opinion. It's going to be like a news magazine.
Twitter news. That's
Twitter,
Twitter
yeah, exactly.
news, yeah.
You just form an opinion and you state it as a fact or alternative fact or whatever. And here's breaking news from Conrad. I don't think she did it. And then we're back to the show. Very quick, but very informative.
And maybe people believe it. Maybe people don't.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if she can act because she's been asked by, what's the guy's name? The Glenn Powell to be on his new Hulu show.
Chad Powers.
Chad Powers. Just a quick, cameo, whatever. I don't know if she'll actually hawk Tua or if she'll do a different move or technique we haven't seen before. I'm always up for learning new things. I don't have much use for the hawk Tua move, so I would love it if she did something new. But she will be on that show, and she is back on the scene. So we'll see. Her first 15 minutes were quite profitable, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what she made, but we'll see. We'll see the second round, what happens in part 2. Lots of good movies out this weekend, folks. 4 new big releases with good reviews. Warfare, The Amateur. There's a movie about Jesus called, I don't think it's The Chosen, it's The King or something like that. And one Drop opens too. And they're all reviewing very well on Rotten Tomatoes. So if you're hitting the theaters, you won't be disappointed, at least according to the critics. And we have to talk about this chicken jockey scene because you mentioned it the other night.
Yes.
This is getting out of control.
Yeah.
People are teenage boys who really aren't people yet. I've been a teenage boy. Are ruining movie theaters during this chicken jockey scene of the Minecraft movie, which is where a baby zombie rides a chicken. I know you're all contacting Fandango right now and getting your tickets. They lose their minds in the theater. They jump up and down on the seats. They pour their drinks out and popcorn and vomit. Have you ever seen a movie you like so much you induced vomiting?
No. The things that they've done are crazy. That just to do at any movie theater, it's just crazy. The one video I saw, it was like an actual whole group of people that were wearing Minecraft like stuff.
Yeah.
And then when Jack Black would say any line that was like, "I am Steve," or he'd say Flint and Steel, they just go crazy and start throwing drinks and food and stuff, popcorn and yeah.
Stupid. Bunch of dummies. All right, we'll break this down. It might be time for a Conrad investigation when we get back. This is Pete Schwaba at Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. I found myself phoning her at least 10 times a day.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
While the teams get ready to choose their top draft pick, you can help Mino and the Mayor choose their top craft pick.
Northeast Wisconsin is home to amazing breweries, wineries, cideries, and distilleries, and we need your help picking the best.
We've drafted 10 of our favorites, but which local craft beverage creator will go to number 1? That's up to you. Top craft pick creators include Sturgeon Spirits in Oshkosh, Timekeeper Distillery in Green Bay and Wausau, and Ledge Rock Distillery LLC in Eden. Vote for your favorite now by logging on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick. When you vote, you'll enter a random drawing to win $250 in gift cards from participating craft creators. Don't wait. Voting ends Friday, April 18th. Log on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick and vote right now. Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick, drafting Northeast Wisconsin's finest one sip at a time.
You want to feel important.
You want to be part of something bigger.
something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong.
We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more.
When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it.
We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors.
From the lake shores of Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota,
The fertile fields of Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa, to the wide open plains of North and South Dakota.
we are here for our hometowns.
And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Every time I think of you, I feel a shot right through. It'll go all through. It's no problem of mine, but it's a problem I find.
Welcome back. This is a Friday night edition of Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. I am your host, Pete Schwaba. Okay, so we did, all right, last night, folks, we ran a pre-recorded segment with Logan Rogie. So a couple texts came in, a couple texts. I wanted to make sure we don't miss those. Steady Eddie, we did see Steady Eddie's text last night, but then he said, Pete, wait, where is that? Did he correct himself? Oh yeah, he said, Mr. Pete. It was an honest mistake because I made mention of the fact that he mispronounced my last name. He called me Schwaba with no CH. It was just an SWABA, which is just immoral. But he corrected himself. He said it was an honest mistake. I accidentally spelled your name incorrectly in my earlier text. Don't want to get on the wrong side of the Schwabinator. That's my old wrestling name, Steady Eddie. And it's all, look, I'm all hat, no cattle. I'm not really a badass. I'm not going to do anything. What if Steady Eddie and I got in a fight, Conrad? Who do you think would win that?
I'm taking Steady Eddie.
If he's as good at scrapping as he is, as his verbiage is diverse, I could be in trouble. Tony the Tucker also texted us last night after we were off the air. He said, Pete, who picks the fade out music? Love the Mavericks. Play them loud when I am drinking beer on Saturday nights after a long week of truck driving, delivering groceries throughout Wisconsin. Well, thank you, Tony. We've had some compliments on our music. I mean, I picked the music. Conrad picks the spots of when to play each song, and I think he does a great job matching the mood. So you can thank Conrad for that, your Maverick love. But I love the Mavericks too. Great stuff. Thank you for the text. Where are we at here? We got another one. Tom from New Berlin. Oh, I'm sorry. Monica from Mount Horeb says, our question, folks, tonight is, where is your favorite spot to have a drink or cocktail? Is it a dive bar? Is it a nice bar? Is it the patio by the pool at a friend's house? Where do you like to sit and just have a cocktail and relax? Monica from Mount Horeb, that's in the 608. She says, I don't drink a lot, but I do often like a margarita at any Mexican restaurant. It's hard to go wrong with that. She says, recently had a flight of margaritas on vacation at Moonlight Diner in Denver. Had a flight of margaritas. What does that mean, Conrad?
So it's like 4 samples, like a flight of beer. It's like 4.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
got you. All right. She says, I'm such a lightweight that I had to take 2 to go, and one ended up being a breakfast margarita. Oh, that's awesome. A hair of the dog margarita.
If they make them strong, that's a long flight.
That's great. Yeah. She says, I had a layover and wasn't driving, so it was okay that I had a buzz on showing up for my flight. Sometimes that's the best way to get on the plane. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Great text, Monica. And then we've got some text. We've been putting the question out on the social media every day, ladies and gentlemen. You can answer there too. Sean Boyce, he's from here in Marinette. He says, as I'm not familiar with the best places around the studio, 8 can only remind I think he means, can only recommend hotspots in the Marinette-Menominee area. He says, 1, Bob's Bar, the quintessential dive bar because it doesn't know it's a dive bar, nor does it try to be anything other than a great place to get a beer with great people. And then he says, Lollies, that's number 2. Sit back, grab a beer, and listen to the environment around you. The entertainment is wild and unpredictable. A fight? Probably later on. Want to know Who, what, when, and where? This is the place. Paulie, the bartender, another patron, and myself are founders of an internal club called the DDC Dead Dad Club. Great joint. And then Sean closes with number 3, the Sports Corner. I've been there here in Marinette. A real sports bar, not some BS shopping mall cookie cutter place, but a spot you'll catch hockey, football, boxing, and many others while surrounded by some real cool blank from local and regional sports history. On every bar stool comes an expert opinion on everything sports related. Just ask. Yeah, that sounds like pretty much every bar in any city, Sean. Thank you. Wow, he did his homework. It was 3 bars. JB says, I think he's responding to Sean, says, assuming he only has one. Luke Mathers says, looking at the sunset on the UP. I didn't know Luke was a UP guy, Conrad. Did you?
I didn't either.
Yeah. Do you think he means with his soulmate like Uncle Rico, or it's just Luke riding solo? Checking out the sunset.
It's just him riding solo up there.
Yeah. He's kind of most people don't know that Luke's nickname is Lone Wolf. He's just a guy that needs to kind of chill once in a while. And he gears up for taking our quizzes we give him. So he needs some time alone. Our pal Matt Harper, rock rap artist from Northeast Wisconsin, says Lenny's Tap. I drive by Lenny's Tap every night on my way home. One of these nights, Matt, I will stop in there and have I can't have a drink with you because I have a long drive, but I'll stop in and say hi. Thanks, Matt. JB Thompson says Pete's Garage is one of my local hangouts. Perfect place to have a drink with Buck Rosenberg, Sarah, Phil, or Pete. Now, Pete's Garage is where this whole question came about because I think Amanda said it was like the #1 bar in Northeast Wisconsin or something like that.
It's actually voted the #1 dive bar in the U.S.
In the U.S.?
Yeah.
How did they know that?
I don't. I just went to their Facebook and it said that. So
they could say that, whether it's true or not. Nobody's going to argue with that, right?
I don't know.
Or are they like, we approached 5,000 drunks who could barely lift their head off the bar and asked them, what's the best dive bar? Like Pete's Garage Bar, that's a really cool name.
Yeah.
Like Lenny's Tap sounds like a guy from The Simpsons, one of Moe's pals that runs it. These are all great, though. Thank you, JB, for the text. Daniel Wheeler, Jitters in Menasha. Oh, I like that name for a bar. Pete needs to know where to grab his pre-show drink. Was that what Amanda put on the social media? I'm asking kind of
under it. No, that was under the post. Like she can't,
Amanda's outing me. I like to get a little drunk before every show. I'm not going to lie.
With your non-alcoholic Blue Moons.
It just takes a lot. Yeah. Keep those texts coming, folks. Where's your favorite place to sit and have a drink or a cocktail? I think that's a great question. For me, it was always in my chair playing video poker at night. I'd have a glass of whiskey. I'm taking a little break. That's lasted over 2 years now, but that's my spot. Or on the deck. We got a nice porch. Got the water in the distance. That's fun, too, if the mosquitoes aren't bad. What about you, Con? You got a place?
For those people in Milwaukee, when I was in college, I really liked this place called Monica's on Astor.
Oh, I've heard of that.
That was my favorite dive bar in Milwaukee. It was reasonable. They had some fun stuff there to do. They always had TVs playing the good stuff, and it's a fun bar. So if you're in Milwaukee, check it out.
And you know what? I believe it's a dive bar because if the prices are cheap, that's a dive bar.
Yes,
not a place pretending to be a dive bar, right? All right, Sean Hanisch is coming up next to talk about some new news regarding Just a Bit Outside. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW. Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. For the past 4 weeks, UWA Local 291 has been on strike at the Cummings plant in Oshkosh. Coming up tomorrow, union leaders will hold a rally at 1118 High Avenue in Oshkosh from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Union officials, national union supporters, and area leaders will be on hand for speeches and to provide support. The workers are striking because their contract at Cummings expired on January 29th, 2025. Union reps say the company is dragging its feet to extend or negotiate the contract, leaving 90 workers in limbo. The sun is out and the weekend's just hours away. Meteorologist Brittany Merlot tells us about some hidden hazards outside.
With warmer weather ahead this weekend, people like to rush out for that first paddle or fishing trip of the year. But beware, rivers are rushing and they're cold. First off, boats handle very differently in strong currents. With less control and debris, like big branches and even whole trees down, stay alert. And if you fall in, keep your feet up. Because if you get caught on something beneath the water, the current will push you under immediately. And the water is frigid. With recent snowmelts, if you're submerged, you'll likely go into shock. It'll be hard to breathe and move. You'll need a flotation device, so always have it on. Emergencies happen fast, and you won't have the time to grab it. And even with it, hypothermia sets in quickly and could kill you in less than an hour. Be sure to dress in layers too. Not only are the temperatures crisp in the morning and warmer in the afternoon, but bulky clothes will weigh you down if you fall in. So always tell someone where you'll be going and when you plan to return. And never anchor below a dam this time of year. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. So what do you do after you show the world how you do foreplay and it goes viral? Then you're accused of bilking investors from a bad Bitcoin deal? For Haley Welch, also known as the Hawktua Girl, you do a cameo on Glenn Powell's new show on Hulu called Chad Powers. The jury is still out on whether or not she can act, but she did cooperate with authorities who investigated her Bitcoin dealio. She was cleared of any wrongdoing. There is also a documentary on the way about her quick rise to fame called Doctua. Get ready for round 2 of Haley's 15 Minutes. The Hunger Games prequel has some cast news. The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping is in pre-production and set 24 years before the original Hunger Games. TheWrap.com reports that Elle Fanning has been offered the role of young Effie Trinket, the character played by Elizabeth Banks in the first 4 films. She has not officially accepted the role yet. The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping will hit theaters November 20th of 2026. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This report sponsored by the City of Marinette, home of the Queen Marinette Run the River Powerboat Races, June 7th and 8th. More details at fishonmarinette.com.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear tonight, a low in the low 30s. And for tomorrow, thickening clouds, but mild. Highs in the low 60s. A chance of showers and storms late Saturday night into Sunday. Highs stay in the low 60s. Currently 57 degrees.
Hey, Sean, can you hear me? Sean? Hey, Sean, can you hear me?
Get up home, I wanna drive them home.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Pete Schwaba, welcome back. We are broadcasting live statewide from beautiful downtown Green Bay. Spring is upon us. It is a gorgeous day. Conrad, I was driving home last night. I left early because we did a pre-record
This is almost as weird as one time I called customer service and the guy just said hello, and I thought I called like the wrong number, and I think the guy just kind of panicked and forgot his spiel. But I called this Chinese restaurant because I was in the mood for Chinese food last night, and it's 8:32. And I said, "Hi, you still open?" She says, "Yes." I said, "Oh, you open till 9?" She goes, "No, 10 more minutes." I'm like, "You close at 8:42?" What? She's like, "We're open for 10 more minutes." I mean, I got my Chinese food. I was happy, but those are really strange hours. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my next guest.
So he had to leave and rejoin real quick.
Oh, okay.
So I'll let you know when he's back in.
No problem. As long as we're out of here by 8:42, because I think I might get Chinese food again. So
Okay, actually, he's back in. I think he's good to go.
we have Sean. Oh, we've got Sean, ladies and gentlemen. Forget about my Chinese food story. This next gentleman he made a film called Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Brewers. It has taken the state and other parts of the country by storm. It was supposed to be in Marcus theaters for like a 2-week run, and they kept it for like 2 months or something like that. It might even still be in some of the theaters. But now we've got new news about the documentary, and who better to hear about this news from than the director of the film, Sean Hanish. He joins us now on the stream. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Pete. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It is so good to see you. I'll tell you what. I've seen 3 pictures of you. This is your 3rd time you've been on the show.
It's because it's my favorite show.
Well, you're quickly becoming our favorite guest, obviously. But you had no beard the first time I saw you online, and then you had kind of a cool cropped beard. And then I saw you at the Wisconsin Film Festival, and I said, I think that's Sean over there. That beard dude is looking phenomenal.
Thank you, Pete. I really
welcome.
appreciate it. It's become pretty robust. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Before I was 50, I couldn't grow a beard to save my life, and then something clicked, and I'm like, I don't know. It feels it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, please. Listen, I just went through puberty a week ago Tuesday. God, when you can't talk and you have to say your jokes again, it crushes it, Sean. They just don't work.
You know, it's you go for it again. We'll laugh. We'll laugh again.
I just went through puberty a week ago Tuesday. Hi-oh. It's great to have you on the show. Thank you for being with us tonight, Sean. Let's talk about how your screening went at the. Listen, I have heard amazing things about this film. It is not played yet where I live in Marinette, but that's what got us going on this conversation. You said, well, we can stream it soon. And I said, come on the show and tell everybody where they can stream it. But people who have seen it love this film, Sean. Is that the vibe you got in Madison last week?
I mean, I'll tell you, that was the screening in Madison at the Wisconsin Film Festival was arguably the best screening we've ever had of the film. It was sold out. And I mean, there's something about, it was kind of the perfect marriage of you had cinephiles, people that love movies, and you had sports fans. I mean, we had at least a third of the people were wearing some type of Brewers gear. So it was really, it was so lively in there, and there was clapping at the home runs, and that's why I love watching this movie with a crowd of people, because you can feel the energy, and it's so tense in those do or die games
that is hilarious.
They explode, and I really. It was a wonderful screening. Again, maybe the premiere was as good, but it's kind of funny that, it was wonderful. Film festival audiences are pretty good, but this is a smart film crowd at Madison.
I agree. I think the guys that pick the films, Ben, Jim, Mike, they're huge movie buffs, but they're also good at diversifying what they offer, like classics and new stuff and sports. I mean, they do a great job. And I think the crowd, feeds off of that. And that's the kind of crowds you get there. They're enthusiastic. Let me ask you, Sean, when you were done with this film before you showed it to anybody, is this the kind of reaction you wanted or expected, or is it different than the expectations you might have had, or did it exceed them?
It's exceeded all expectations, without question. I will say this: I was going for kind of my North Star when I was directing the film in editorial, because that's where you really make your documentaries, is in editorial. You don't start with a hard script. You have a story and an outline and a lot of concepts. But the thing I was going for is I remember exactly how I felt when Cecil Cooper got that hit in Game 5 of the American League Championship Series. And I remember how I felt when Robin threw that ball and Cooper caught it and jumped for joy. And the whole stadium, the whole city erupted. And I was like, if I can get, I just want to get as close to that feeling as possible. So when we were in editorial, I'd probably say this was about a year ago, and we hit that scene and we did it. We actually did it. It reminded me of when I was 14 years old, sitting in County Stadium, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And the way all the fans rush the field, and so there's this explosion of music and shots. It was just it felt electric to me, and I was like, "Hey, we got something really." Oh, I don't know if I stayed in there, but I said,
There
"Hey,
you go. We got you.
We got something really special here." And so, but the reaction's been incredible. I don't when we screened it the first time at the premiere, and people started applauding when Robin hits that home run in the last game of the season against Baltimore. I was like, "Oh my God, people are applauding!" Like, how is that happening? And it kept going, and then just anyway, the tears at the end when the parade happens, and you were just I remember walking down to the stage to do a Q&A after the premiere, and I look back and I see Ted Simmons, and he is bald. He is, bald his eyes out. He's wet with tears, streaked with tears, and I was like, wait, I think we got something really special here. I kind of knew it, but you don't know it until you show it. And then people started showing up. And again, I credit the sports fans of the state of Wisconsin for keeping this movie in theaters for 2 months. And then we turn around and we look at Rotten Tomatoes, and it's 100% audience rating. And we're like, that's impossible. It's not going to stay there. So it went to 99%, and we put that on the DVD, 99%. And after the DVD came out, it went back up to 100%.
It's at 100 right now. I just looked it up.
It's at 100. What in the world is at 100 ever?
Nothing in the movie world. Yeah.
So it's, as much as I'd like to take credit for that, it's one of those movies that I think that just hit the right feeling and the right time with the right audience. And I think, there's a mix of nostalgia, but there's also a mix of a big dose of we're all together in community.
Right.
And that's, I think, really important right now.
Absolutely. You're right. To me, sports, entertainment, those are the things that bring people together. You've done both with this documentary.
Thank you.
It's interesting, Sean. I think I was talking to Conrad about this, or maybe it was Dr. Lyerly, someone who really enjoyed it. And I said, I haven't seen it yet. But to me, is it more interesting that the Brewers did not win the World Series that year? I'm sure you could change history if you could for that. But for your documentary, doesn't that accentuate what good sports fans we have here in Wisconsin, or what the people are like here in Wisconsin, that they showed up, that they had a parade, even though they didn't win, or that they love this documentary?
It's the parade is what makes this sports documentary or this story different than any other story. Because who throws a parade the next morning for a team that didn't win the World Series trophy? They didn't win. They won our hearts. They won.
Sure.
They're immortal in our eyes, but they didn't win it. And everybody showed up. And it's so funny, when you're making a movie and you're like, people are like, what are you working on? And then you say, oh, I'm working on this documentary about the 82 Brewers. And half the people's eyes glaze over because they're like, oh, whatever. I say, but no, the story is this. And you get to the parade and they're like, they did what? And they get chills. And I'm like, so to answer your question, I've done this mental exercise where I'm like, okay, if there's no parade, do we make the movie? maybe. If we win, then we're not going to make the movie. We
Right.
won. Because I think about it, I'm like, well, there's not going to ever be a documentary like this about the 82 Cardinals. They won.
Right.
And
that's fantastic.
Yeah. So, and the last thing is I was going to say is, it really becomes a love story, and all good love stories, the two lovers don't end up together in the end.
That's a great parallel. And since you do other movies, narrative movies too, that's a really good parallel. My guest is Sean Hanna. She is the director of Just a Bit Outside, the wildly popular 1982 Milwaukee Brewers story. So a couple questions for you. I met your partner on the film, Kelly Call. Had a lot of fun talking to Kelly. Great guy. How did you guys work together on this?
It's Kelly and I've known each other for 37 years, ever since we went to Madison. And working with Kelly was hand in glove. I mean, from the beginning, he and I saw this project, the same way. And that's really, really important. I don't know if I've ever had a fight with Kelly or an argument. I mean, we respect each other for sure.
Yeah.
And I think Kelly's genius is he's been in the television industry, for 30 plus years, and he was the president of CBS for over 6 years.
Crazy.
He knows so much about, obviously storytelling and character, but also marketing. Oops. I don't know if I lost you there.
No, I got you.
Oh, okay. But also he knows marketing, and he knows how to position something, in the marketplace. He knows how to, he's this kind of global, he has a huge global view. And I'm very detail oriented and beat by beat, and making sure we have, so really, I mean, it was great. And we had also a third producing partner, who's also my producing partner, Paul Giacone Beery, who, as I say to people, he does all the real work. Right. He works with licenses and contracts and setting up the shoots and the stuff that's not glamorous, but he's a huge part of this film.
It's funny. When you mentioned that Kelly was president of CBS for a while, and I forgot something he told me the other night when we were talking at the party, and he said, "I'm so far behind on TV shows and binge watch," because I was telling him what Nightlight was about, and he said, "I'm so far behind on all that stuff because when I was at CBS, all I did was watch CBS stuff." Like he said, he watched every show and every episode, and I can't even imagine. I mean, those guys aren't starving; they do okay, but that's a lot of work. I mean, that's like even some shows you probably don't love that much.
Well, I was having that conversation with you guys as we were having a beer, and I was like, I hadn't heard him say that, and now it makes total sense because he had to watch multiple cuts of every episode.
Oh, right.
So he read the scripts before they became, so. It is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And all the more reason, I'm sure he was thrilled to do this project with you. So that must have been exciting too. All right. Sean Hannish is here. We're talking about Just a Bit Outside. He's got big news. After this very short break, we'll find out where we can all watch the film. If you couldn't make it to the theater, this is obviously a must-see. It crushed at the Wisconsin Film Festival. It's been crushing in Marcus theaters. I can't wait to see it. And I grew up a Cub fan, folks. That's how bad I want to see this documentary. So Sean is here. We'll be back after a very short break. Don't go anywhere. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I keep seeing this picture of you. Here comes my baby. Here she comes now. And it comes as no surprise to me. With another guy. Here comes my baby. Here she comes now. Walking with a love that's so fine. Never to be mine, no matter how I try. You'll never walk alone. And you're forever talking on the phone. And I try.
This is the talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-810-3588. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-810-3588. 800-810-3588. 800-810-3588.
Hey, it's Amanda with another new Wisco 411 for you, and you can putt your way through downtown Appleton on Saturday, April 12th from 1 till 5 p.m. Downtown Appleton is transforming into a mini golf course. I bet you didn't see that coming. Players get to enjoy a unique hole of mini golf at a variety of downtown bars and restaurants with food and drink specials galore. Also, there's going to be awards and prizes, and yes, best costume is included. Registration is now open, and to find out how, go to wgbw.fm and click events.
Ganio Clay Products in Green Bay salutes our emergency first responders, law enforcement, firefighters, and paramedics for their professionalism, commitment, and bravery. These men and women put their lives on the line for us. First responders deserve our admiration, so thank them for all they do. This from Ganio Clay Products in Green Bay, your brick, stone, and fireplace experts since 1940.
Welcome back. You got Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, folks. It is a beautiful Friday night, springtime in the state of Wisconsin. We're talking about your Milwaukee Brewers and this phenomenal documentary with my guest, Sean Hanisch. Kristen Lyerly will be here after the news at 7:05. We've got a few more minutes with Sean. His documentary, Just a Bit Outside, finished a phenomenal run at Marcus Theaters. It had an incredible showing at the Wisconsin Film Festival last weekend. Unfortunately, I had to introduce a film. I was not able to be there, but I heard it went incredibly well. Sean is happy with it. But Sean, where can people see it now? I guess you've got streaming news.
I mean, Pete, this is such a great day. It's the best day of the year because this is Roku Day. We have premiered on Roku right this second, right now. Since this morning, we are live on Roku, Just a Bit Outside, and we're going to be there for the duration. So we invite everyone to see it. The best part is it's free. If you have the Roku device, the Roku stick, or you have the Roku app on your television, and even if you don't, you can go to the RokuChannel.com and watch it on your computer and watch it on your phone or your iPad. It's as a filmmaker, to all of a sudden have your film in 200 million homes available is really all you can ask for. And they've been great partners, Roku has. So that's the big news. And I thank you for having me on today to be able to, tell you and your listeners about it.
Well, we got to get the word out. I mean, a movie that has brought this much joy to so many people in the theaters. Now it's great that people can watch it, and it's free, and it's good. Even though you guys have already made like $100 million from the theaters, so we can have the rest of us can watch it for free.
Well, you know what? We'll leave the financial discussion for another day. Okay. You don't get rich making independent films. I can tell you.
No. Hey, that leads me to my next question, Sean. You've done, your home before this has typically been in the narrative world, feature films. You've directed some pretty big names. If people want to find out more of what Sean has done, they can go to IMDb or Google him. But he's done some great films with very good actors. What movie of yours, aside from Just a Bit Outside, do you hope people find? Because if they're out there on streaming, people can still find them. What are you most proud of?
Well, I mean, I think you have to go back to my first film that I wrote. I actually wrote, directed, and produced, called Return to Zero, that stars Minnie Driver, Connie Nielsen, Alfred Molina.
Wow.
It's also streaming free on Roku right now.
Oh, there you go.
All four of my films, I looked this up last night when Just About Time started streaming. All four of my films, Return to Zero, Sister Cities, St. Judy, starring Michelle Monaghan.
Michelle Monaghan, yeah.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. She was in the White Lotus that kind of blew up. Everybody watched that. Yeah, and it's so. But Return to Zero, it's a very, very personal story. It's about what I and my wife, who's my ex-wife, but still a very, very good friend, went through when we lost our first child. Wow. And it's a tough one. It's a tough one, though. I was popping in and watching bits of it last night, and I'm like, it's a little funnier than people think, but it's really meaningful. It has brilliant performances. It's about something really important. It's about grief and loss, and then overcoming that. Never forgetting the loss, but overcoming that. And I mean, Minnie was nominated for an Emmy for that role.
Nice.
And I was nominated for a Writers Guild Award. I mean, it was really astonishing, an astonishing experience to go through making something so personal. But I'd say, oddly enough, that film, which is about something that happened to me and my wife, and this movie about me when I was 14 years old, watching the Brewers, are the two most personal films.
Isn't that something? Wow. I was reading about that on IMDb, and I said, I just didn't know you well enough at the time, so I didn't ask you when you first came on. We didn't even get to your narrative stuff, but I figured that might be a personal story. And listen, folks, just have a Roku Film Festival in your house with Sean's movies. You keep yourself busy all weekend. Sean, we have about a minute left. This is so great. Thank you. It's great to know you. What's next for you?
I am writing another script right now. Working on a film that's I think it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna have a lot of music in it. Happy to talk to you about that when we start getting that further down the line. That I'd write and direct as well. And then I'm gonna really get into the documentary scene. It's funny, we were just talking at the Tavern League of Wisconsin had us do their keynote on Tuesday, which was amazing. Like 700 people there watching some scenes from the movie, and then we screened it. And we saw Gilbert Brown afterwards, who was awesome. And he was like, "So when are you going to make the Packers movie?" So I think I'm going to continue to be involved in making some sports docs because it's a heck of a lot of fun.
You got a heck of a business card, buddy. Now that's fantastic. So, Sean, keep up the great work. Listen, you're like, I went from not knowing you. I'm going to go out on a limb here. You are my best friend. You are my new best friend. That's how connected I feel to you. So
I'll take that, Pete. You know what? It was so great meeting you in person.
Likewise.
Last week.
It was fun hanging. So we'll do this again soon. Maybe combine and make our popcorn pick of the week one of these weeks. That would be a lot of fun. So
I'd love to.
Yeah. Well, congrats on Roku. Check out Just a Bit Outside on Roku. Break a leg with all the stuff you're working on, Sean. And we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Pete. I really appreciate coming on. Thanks, Conrad.
Likewise. Thank you. All right, Sean Haddish, check out Just a Bit Outside. You can watch it for free on Roku and have yourself a Sean Hanish Fest with Roku, too. When we come back, folks, after the news, we have an interview I did with Kristen Lyerly yesterday. We talk about her new show here at Civic Media, and it's launching soon, and we will discuss that with Kristen, and then we'll be back for Bar Band Friday night. It's Night Light with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Ashwaubenon to Alloway, this is 97.9 WGBW.
This week on The Revolution, we're joined by
me, Kristen Lyerly.
Hey, we're going to talk about the big topic of abortion. You're not going to want to miss this.
Rational Revolution with Mark Becker, Saturdays at 2, Sundays at 1 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Todd Alba Show.
Markets continue to tumble after Donald Trump's additional tariffs. I'm not here to tell anybody, oh, I told you so. I think it goes to show how much hurt, anxiety, and angst there was in the voting public in the fall. They were looking for anything to believe in. But now the hard, cold reality is starting to slap people in the face. Trump and Vance have lied, and now the chickens are coming home to roost.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. China slaps new tariffs on U.S. goods, raising them to 125% in retaliation for the U.S. placing 145% tariffs on Chinese imports. U.S.-China trade talks not happening at the moment. ABC's Mary Bruce asking White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt about a possible deal that President Trump might want to make with Beijing.
Why is he optimistic that China's going to make a deal or wants to make a deal if they're not talking? Where's that optimism come from?
Optimistic.
China's finance ministry put out a statement saying, quote, the U.S. will go down as a joke in the history of world economics. New numbers from the University of Michigan show consumer sentiment is down for the fourth straight month. Meanwhile, the Labor Department says wholesale inflation fell about 0.5% from February. A federal immigration judge in Louisiana ruling the government can move forward with its effort to deport Columbia University graduate student Mahmoud Khalil for his involvement in pro-Palestinian protests. This is ABC News.
Ready for the ultimate getaway? Picture this, a cozy cabin in Wisconsin's Northwoods, surrounded by nature's beauty, crystal clear lakes, and endless adventure. Be it fishing, boating, snowmobiling, or just kicking back by a campfire under the stars. This is relaxation like never before. Cook your own meals, enjoy private docks, and even bring your furry friends along for the ride. It's a perfect spot for family fun, a romantic retreat, and more. What kind of trip are you planning? Book your Northwoods vacation rental at simpleLifeRentals.com.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be non-stop as these high-octane boats reach speeds over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and will run throughout the day. Free for the whole family. This is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Wisconsin's delegation voted along party lines Thursday as the U.S. House passed a budget bill that includes trillions of dollars in cuts to taxes and government spending. Joanne Krulatz breaks it down.
Wisconsin Republican Scott Fitzgerald said in a statement, with one big, beautiful bill, we're advancing President Trump's America First agenda and putting our country back on a path to prosperity. Wisconsin Democrat Glenn Moore tweeted that every single Republican in the Wisconsin congressional delegation just voted on a budget resolution to cut billions in federal funds for Badger Care, directly endangering their most vulnerable constituents while adding trillions to the national debt. The House bill has deeper spending cuts than the one passed by the Senate, and the two versions must be merged into one bill for Trump to sign into law. Representative Mark Pocan joined Moore and all other House Democrats who voted no. Wisconsin Republicans Brian Stile, Derek Van Orden, Tom Tiffany, Glenn Grothman, and Tony Weed joined Fitzgerald in voting yes.
A trial date has been set for 35-year-old Michael Donnelly of
The Brewers head to Arizona. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers in Phoenix to open a 3-game weekend series against the Diamondbacks tonight. The Crew losing to the Rockies yesterday, 7-2. Colorado coming up with a 5-run rally in the 8th. But right-hander Quinn Priester, picked up in that trade with the Boston Red Sox this week, had a good outing in his debut with the Brewers, allowing just 1 run in 5 innings.
I thought I settled in later in the game nicely. You know, with all the hecticness this week, getting through those first 3, even though it was a little sloppy, thought it was a good job of just limiting the damage.
NBA, the Bucks beat the Pelicans 136-111. Now they have 2 regular season games left. Tonight in Detroit, then Sunday they host the Pistons before heading into the postseason. Then what? Doc Rivers.
Going in the playoffs healthy. We have an entire week after these 2 games to get ready for whoever our opponent is, or at least 5 days, let's say. That'll get us rest. That'll get us ready.
That's the Bucks' Doc Rivers. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news roundup in quick podcast form. You can find it anywhere at the WGBW website, WGBW.fm.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear tonight, a low in the low 30s. And for tomorrow, thickening clouds, but mild. Highs in the low 60s. A chance of showers and storms late Saturday night into Sunday. Highs stay in the low 60s. Currently 57 degrees.
The Todd Alba Show.
Markets continue to tumble after Donald Trump's additional tariffs. I'm not here to tell anybody, oh, I told you so. I think it goes to show how much hurt, anxiety, and angst there was in the voting public in the fall. They were looking for anything to believe in. But now the hard, cold reality is starting to slap people in the face. Trump and Vance have lied, and now the chickens are coming home to roost.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local civic media radio station and on the app.
We are the keepers of the wild. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving the natural landscapes that define our nation. Nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters. Together with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Dr. Kristen Lyerly.
And this week, we're going to be talking with Appleton's own Emily Cephos about the results of the Supreme Court race and what this means for Northeast Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who writes checks his mouth can't cash, Pete Schwaba.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Just a good-looking rebel who plays by his own rules.
Oh, hell yeah.
2 of those are true. Hey, that is the voice of Kristen Lyerly, Dr. Kristen Lyerly. You have a new show here at Civic Media. I had to have you on to talk about this because I think A, it's about time.
It's the craziest thing.
And B, given the title of your show and your name and the fact that you're a doctor, you must have been pretty confident in your chances of landing this job, right? Did you have stiff competition?
When we first started talking about this, I was thinking, Todd's like, we want to do a show. We think you'd be great. And I'm thinking like, let's make it about healthcare. Let's make it about politics. He's like, no, let's make it about you. And so it was his idea to make it the Dr. Kristen Lyerly show. I still am not super comfortable with that. I'll be honest.
Well, why? Because you feel like with doctor in there, people are going to assume it's about healthcare or something?
I just don't feel like it's about me. I feel like maybe I'm just the spotlight that helps to shine on some of the amazing things that are happening here in this place that I love so much, where my family has been for so long, where I feel so committed and connected.
Born and raised in Kaukauna.
Yeah.
Right? So
I'm
you're
a
a local
ghost.
girl.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is possible, but there might be people out there that don't know a lot about you. Give us a little background.
6th generation Wisconsinite. My mom came from a dairy farming background east of Lake Winnebago. My dad, his whole family worked at the mill in Kaukauna. And proud ghost. I mean, I loved high school. I still feel very connected to Kaukauna, still hang out with my high school friends.
What do you mean ghost? You've said that twice.
Galloping Ghost. That's our mascot. Isn't that cool?
Did you know that, Conrad?
Galloping Goats. No, I didn't know
That's
that.
a cool name.
I didn't know how cool it was when I was in high school because it's just like what you grow up with. But now looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a really cool mascot.
Oh yeah.
Except for the fact that like at the football games, we had somebody gallop out on a horse in the ghost costume. And there are some questionable imagery issues there. But I think it was authentic. I don't think it was meant to be scary.
I think that's probably one of the coolest mascot dealios I've heard of.
Yeah.
The Galloping Ghosts.
Yeah. Red Grange from the University of Illinois. There's a whole history thing there.
He went there?
No. They thought it was cool.
Where did that come from then? Yeah, there's also Walter Payton. And
have you heard of him?
I've heard of him. So, all right. So you grew up in Kaukauna. You've been all over, but you decided to make Northeastern Wisconsin home.
Yeah. I went to Minnesota for my undergrad.
Okay.
Ended up back, lived in a couple different places, ended up back in Madison for my training. So medical school, my master's in public health. And then when I left after my residency, my eye was on Minnesota. I was going to go back to Minnesota. That was where my friends were from college, and that seemed right. But I came to Green Bay just on a lark to do an interview here at Bellin Hospital, and it was the nurses. It really was the nurses.
Wow.
When I went to interview, it just felt like home. And the nurses said, "We need you here." And the more time I spent, I went to Lock, Stock, and Bagel.
Okay.
And got some food. And I thought, okay, Green Bay, I can do this. I kind of love it here. And there was something it was like a magnet. It just pulled me back.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what, you are a doctor and you speak very articulately and fluently on all these topics that have come up on my show over the many times you've been here. But what will you be excited to talk about most? I know it's a community-based show, but you are a doctor. What issues can you not wait to talk about?
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this weekend, Emily Cephos from Appleton is my guest, and we're talking about the Supreme Court race and what this means for Wisconsin. And that's a great conversation. If you haven't met Emily, she's delightful. She's a mom. Yeah. She's an educator. She's an organizer. She cares deeply about her community. So it's a conversation. And that's really what the show is. It's like you're sitting around the table with us, having some coffee, chatting.
Yeah.
And I think you walk away, I hope you walk away feeling informed and entertained, and like you're part of us, because that's what this community is. And I think that's the thing that really drew me back. At first I thought, is it because I'm from here that I felt so connected? But I don't think it's that. I think it's the people here are just so fundamentally good and kind. Yeah, I think about Jordan Love.
Thank you.
Because you're one of them.
Thank you, Kristen.
I think about Jordan Love when he was on his way. What was this, 2 years ago? He was on his way to a playoff game, and there was a girl who had slid off the road. The weather was bad, and he stopped to help her. That's what we do here. When you go to a Packer game, you don't park in a ramp. You park in somebody's yard for $30, and they're like, "Sure, you can use the bathroom. Here's water."
Yeah,
there's nothing like it on earth.
It is. It's like the whole city's like a big tailgate year round, where it's just people interacting and having fun. It's very well said, and that's So does this mean you ran for Congress?
Yeah,
not a small undertaking. Does this mean, or doing this show, will that keep you from doing things like that in the future? Are you more excited to affect things just with what you say on the air to try to persuade people, or are you leaving that door open for another campaign?
Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I love being a doctor. I still practice pretty much full time. I work, usually 2 weeks straight at a hospital in northern Minnesota, in rural northern Minnesota. But I love that, because I get that time with my patients and their families where I can answer questions and help them make really good decisions for themselves. Right. And the decisions that we make, whether we're talking about vaccines or medications or treatment for cancer or preventive health, it doesn't matter. Those are the decisions that set us on this trajectory for the rest of our lives. So I can do that one by one with my patients, and that's amazing. But here, I can talk to lots of people all at the same time in a community that I deeply love. So it's not about an office. Running for Congress to me wasn't about being in Congress. It was about making a difference. So I didn't win that seat, but the connections I made and the difference, the community that we built, it was totally worth it. So I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. We'll see.
All right. You ran a great campaign, and I think you're right. Like, that elevates your profile because you have great things to say, and you are part of this community, and you do good things, whether it's through your medical practice or just on the air. You've been a guest on so many shows on Civic Media, all the shows. Everybody knows you.
I need a doctor. Where's Lyerly?
Right. Well, is there a guest that you can't wait to have on your show, or that you really hope to get on your show?
There are so many. My list is endless. I just had a beer with a medical student from the Medical College of Wisconsin. We've got a medical school in Green Bay. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know.
We have a medical school in Green Bay, and it's not big.
Accredited?
Yeah, it is.
It's not like a guy like me teaching, right? Okay.
So the Medical College of Wisconsin is a school out of Milwaukee,
Yeah.
and they have a couple different spokes. They've got one in Wausau, and they've got one in Green Bay.
Oh, nice.
They're not huge, but they're this really sticky group of students. We all know each other. They're integrated in the community. And actually the UW has different groups of students all across the state, because the goal is not to train students to practice in Madison and Milwaukee. It's to train students that practice everywhere. We need doctors in Hayward. We need doctors in Seymour. We need doctors in Green Bay. So we want to get these students out to these different places. So I just had a wonderful conversation with this woman who is probably going to go into OBGYN. And the more we talked, the more we were like, and we could do this, and we could do this, and we could do that. And it's all about building that sense of community, and how can we get more information and bring more people in,
right?
So that we've all got what we need to be able to live our best lives.
And just feeding off each other's enthusiasm to get things done and make a difference.
And
This is
then
fantastic.
we were talking to one of the bartenders, and he's a big biker. He's involved with the Green Bay Bike Collective. And
Okay.
it turns out her husband is a giant cyclist. When they lived in Milwaukee and she was doing her original training, her husband was really involved in the biking community there. So now we got him plugged in to the biking community here in Green Bay, which does all this advocacy work and makes all these trails that make it safe to bike in Green Bay. I mean, just all of the connections are just, that's what it's all about.
Oh, that's exciting. I can tell you're very excited to do this. I am willing to be on your show as a guest, but I'm going to need a signing bonus and a per diem.
Okay.
Okay.
Con?
I don't know what he's going to bring to the show.
He can't. Okay. He has no say in my per diem.
I don't know what he's going to bring to the show.
So wait a minute. When you say someone's a biker, I equate that to Harleys, but is this a guy pulling up on a Schwinn Varsity or what?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're all bikes. I'm just saying, I didn't know. I'm trying to paint a picture in my head.
He's a commuter, so even in the winter, he rides his bike.
Bicycle.
Wow. Yeah, he
Okay.
puts like winter tires on his bike so he can ride. I do that too. I've got one of those.
In the winter, you
fatties.
do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why?
Why not?
You have a car?
Yeah.
Okay. No judgment.
Come on.
I could never see myself doing.
It's fun. It's different than riding in the summer.
Well, it's a lot colder.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's harder.
Yeah. So
Suck it up, Buttercup.
what I love the most is when I'm driving around Marinette, Wisconsin early in the morning and I see it's like 5 below and it's January and I see 8 bikes outside the bar.
Yeah. Wait, are you talking about Harleys or bicycles?
No, I'm talking about bicycles.
Oh, yeah.
People just were like,
Are those the people who can't drive?
correct. Yeah.
Oh.
The court has stepped in.
Yes.
And they're, at least when you're on a bike and you've had a few cocktails at 6 a.m., you're only taking your own life. Hopefully they're wearing helmets. I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
God, what else? So anything else you want to say about your show?
Oh my gosh. I would love for folks in the community to let us know what they want to hear about.
Right.
So one of the conversations I had with a medical student was she worked in foster care before she started medical school.
Wow.
And she was sharing some of the experiences that she had. We think of foster care as like, yeah, that's a great alternative. Well, what does it really mean? She said, oh, I've got stories. I said, oh, I'd love to hear
There's
your
a guest.
stories.
Yeah,
there's
right.
a guest. Are you familiar with the name, the local Green Bay name, Robert Kennedy?
Yes.
Longtime newsman. He's been around
not that
forever.
one. Okay.
No, not the RFK Jr. who's ruining our health infrastructure.
You could have a place in
our
Green Bay. I
own
don't know.
Robert Kennedy.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love
Yeah.
to have him come on. We're talking about like what kind of stories has he seen throughout his illustrious career? What can he tell us about journalism and how it's changed over the decades? I think people would be really interested in hearing that. So many, there's no end to the stories.
Yeah. I think you're awesome. What time is the show on?
It's on Saturdays and Sundays at 3 and then
Okay.
available wherever you get your podcasts.
I love that I texted you earlier and I said, is it too late for me to go to med school? And you texted back gynecology.
Yeah.
I felt creepy even reading that. So
Did you?
You're a jokester. And when you get back from Minnesota, let's have you on for a typical Kristen visit, okay?
Okay, let's
All right,
do
good
it.
luck with the show.
Thank you.
It's Dr. Kristen Lyerly. Check out her show here on Civic Media at 3 o'clock Saturday and 3 o'clock Sunday. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite. We'll be right back with more on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor. Feeling better is about feeling all kinds of things. You want to feel healthy, sure, but you also want to feel heard and understood, valued, even, well, loved. That's what we want too. We're Amplify Health, and we think the best way to care for someone is to care about them. That's why all our treatments include a little empathy. Welcome to healthcare that's all about caring. Welcome to Amplify Health by Bellin. A little empathy changes everything.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be non-stop as these high-octane boats reach speeds over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and will run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
While the teams get ready to choose their top draft pick, you can help Mino and the Mayor choose their top craft pick.
Northeast Wisconsin is home to amazing breweries, wineries, cideries, and distilleries, and we need your help picking the best.
We've drafted 10 of our favorites, but which local craft beverage creator will go to number 1? That's up to you. Top craft pick creators include Fifth Ward Brewing Company in Oshkosh, New Denmark Brewing, Duck Creek Distillery and Winery in Denmark, and Captain's Walk Winery in Green Bay. Vote for your favorite now by logging on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick. When you vote, you'll enter a random drawing to win $250 in gift cards from participating craft creators. Don't wait. Voting ends Friday, April 18th. Log on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick and vote right now. Mino and the Mayor.
Welcome back. The Nightlight, ladies and gentlemen, I am Pete Schwaba. And we are having some fun here on a Friday night. Sean Hanish, Kristen Lyerly. Are you kidding me? Where do you find a lineup like that? And it's a bar band Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, which means the big fun is on the way. Her name is Terry BARR, and she will be joining us at 7:35 with new music and fun conversation. Conrad, I don't, I know you have your typical producing duties you do on a nightly basis, but you also have to tell me when like a big chunk of hair is out of place here. I had this crazy thing going on here, and you didn't tell me. So the whole show.
I'm going to be honest. It just looks the same. So I don't know whether it's off or if it's on. You know what I mean?
I feel like I look like a fool in front of Sean Hanish, and now he's judging me.
No,
he's probably never going to come back on the show again. He's got this amazing beard that he puts a lot of time and effort into it, and then he gets on the show, and the host has a wing thing happening with his hair.
I mean, do you see mine? Look how crazy mine's getting right now.
Yeah, but you don't care. Yeah, what is going on? You usually have a haircut like every week.
I don't care.
No, you put a lot of time and effort into your hair. So what's happening?
I just have a cowlick. So if I come out of the shower and don't brush my hair instantly, it does whatever it wants. So I got out of the shower and I was rushing, so I was like, don't have time.
Yeah.
I used that, like the hand brush,
Do you actually brush your hair?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. You got like a comb and everything at home?
I don't use a comb. I use the brush only.
Yeah. I have not brushed or combed my hair probably since I was 15. I swear to God, I get out and I just do my fingers and that's what it is. So I mean, if I wanted to like mat it down, I'd go brush or comb, but it would just poof back up.
That's my, I like using the brush because it gets that good finish on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I get it. You got a good head of hair. But you are due for a cut. It's been at least 2 weeks since you've had a haircut. So
I got one booked out in May. So
okay.
Growing it out for a couple more weeks.
Tighten that up, buddy. Tom on the text line. Our question of the night is, where is your favorite spot, folks, to have a drink or a cocktail? We've heard some great bar names: Marinette, Oshkosh, Appleton, Green Bay. Tell us where your favorite spot is. It could be a dive bar. Be a nice bar, a restaurant, your back porch, your yard. Where do you like to have a nice cocktail, sit and have a drink? I said earlier, I have a chair at home that I can look out and see beautiful trees, play some poker, and have a drink. And what did you say, Con?
I said Monica's on Astor in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, Monica's in Milwaukee. That's right. Yeah, that's a good joint. And they have dive bar prices. I hate when they say a place is a dive bar and it's like, oh, $9 for a beer. That's not a dive bar.
Well, okay, so I'll say reasonable.
People in there you can catch stuff from. That's a dive bar.
Oh no,
I'm just saying.
I'll say reasonable in Milwaukee is like $7 for a drink instead of $9.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, a double in Milwaukee is a lot of money. I remember going out to bars in college and coming back and being like, well, I thought I only had like a couple drinks.
Right.
How did this come out to $90?
That's funny. I remember being in college and there was a guy who, one of my friends, he's like, man, I dropped $60 last night. $60. And like, that's kind of a lot now even, but back then.
Yeah.
When you're like 22 and you're buying drinks for people, hoping it leads you to meet a girl or whatever, you just throw it around. Like,
yeah,
it's insane what people will spend when they go out. Tom on the text line, he's in New Berlin. He says, being in the Navy station in San Diego, did not see the Brewers until the World Series in '82, lost a hundo to a fan watching will be a good cry. To a loose fan? I don't know what he means by that, but Tom had a very emotional reaction, or he'll have a good cry when he finally sees the film. So I'm with you, Tom. Check it out. Let us know what you think. I'm going to watch it this weekend. I'm excited to see it. I have really, truly heard amazing things. It's supposed to be just an absolutely brilliant documentary. Tom also says, love you, doctor. There's a nice shout out for Kristen Lyerly. Everybody loves Kristen.
On the stream, Dave says garage beer.
Garage beer. The hell's that?
Having a beer in the garage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's a good one, Dave. My favorite, like when I lived in LA, I had a couple friends, other dads at the school that really were into scotch. And that got me into scotch. And the weather's just so great. You could just sit out in the backyard. And those guys would have like one scotch. They were like raised in LA, so they don't get the whole drinking thing. You don't just have one scotch. I mean, I applaud you for trying to practice moderation, but you got to at least have a second scotch. But I played by their rules, and it was fun. It's great. I love sitting outside having a cocktail. There's nothing better. Or a garage. That's what people did in LA too. They used their garage. They just kept the door open all the time, and it was like their sitting area. You see that in Marinette though too. Do you see that where you live, Conrad? People just keep their garage open and sit in the garage.
Yes, definitely near Lambeau.
Yeah, Lambeau for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, it would be kind of, I don't know, kind of weird in the apartment building having your garage as a place to.
Well, you don't have a garage in an apartment building.
I mean, not in the apartment building, across the little road is.
Oh, I got you.
Our garages.
Yeah, that would be weird. It's a carport. Hey, do we have time for that Todd Barry clip? I think that's so funny with the cat. That's only like 40 seconds.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we can play that.
Let's play. This is a comic, a Todd Barry, very funny guy. I did Caroline's Comedy Hour with him years ago. New York comic. I love this bit.
I live right here in New York City. The building I live in charges me $50 a month because I have a cat. It's a spiteful pet fee to have. I remember being in the leasing office, signing a lease. God's like, so it's just you in the apartment? Yeah, just me and my cat. Oh, so it's not just you in the apartment. There's also something this big living there? Yeah, she's the size of my toaster. You have a toaster? You got to come clean with me, my man. All right, I have a couple of spoons also. Okay, we'll go 50 for the cat, 30 for the toaster. $8 each for the spoons. I can make that joke last 19 hours if I want to.
Todd Barry, check him out. Very funny comic. All right, when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, it is Bar Band Friday night. Are you excited, Conrad?
Oh, I am ready.
Is Terry waiting in the wings, as they say?
Yes, she is.
All right, fantastic. We're going to do it all when we come back after Civic Media's news team tells you what's up. Terry Barr coming up next.
home for the Todd Allball Show.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. It's Severe Weather Awareness Week in Wisconsin. Meteorologist Brittany Merlot has more.
A tornado watch means that you need to be prepared and ready to act quickly. It's when you should keep an eye on the forecast and your heads up, especially if it's a hot and sunny, humid day, because that's the tornado's favorite beverage. It gulps up moisture in an instant, from puffy cotton ball clouds to spinning into a supercell. After it gains enough steam, a tornado may drop from it. And this is when a warning will be issued. It means that a tornado is on the ground and spotted by someone, or it's showing strong rotation on radar, which that means reports of high winds whipping at the radar and away from it in a small space, indicating a tornado or at least a funnel cloud. Now, sometimes these don't produce anything but high winds, hail, and heavy downpours, and consider yourself lucky, because you should always take watches and warnings seriously. It means it's a time to stay weather savvy and have your plan ready for action.
More roads in the Lambeau Field area will be closed starting Sunday. The NFL draft stage is going up along with the excitement for the event. After closing stretches of road on Oneida Street and Armed Forces Drive, now parts of eastbound Lombardy and Ridge Road will close Sunday and will remain closed until May 2nd. The NFL Draft takes to Titletown April 24th through the 26th. The next Oshkosh Fire Chief has been selected. The City of Oshkosh Police and Fire Commission chose Tim Hyman to step into the place vacated when former Fire Chief Mike Stanley left to return to Colorado. Hyman is the current Division Chief of Training for the department. He comes to the position with 20 years of firefighter experience. The Police and Fire Commission will formally approve and swear in Hyman at an upcoming meeting. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences is adding a category to the Oscars. Starting in the year 2028, Best Stunt Design will be recognized as a category. The honor will be officially called the Academy Award for Achievement in Stunt Design. Movies released in 2027 will be eligible for the honor at the 100th Academy Awards ceremony. The late actor Chadwick Boseman was known for being committed to his craft. He was so committed, according to Black Panther director Ryan Coogler, that he talked with the T'Challa accent through the entire movie shoot. This is not that uncommon, but it did freak out Disney executives who visited the set. Coogler says he had to tell the executives not to panic and that Boseman was working. Coogler's new film, Sinners, opens in theaters April 18th. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear tonight, a low in the low 30s. And for tomorrow, thickening clouds but mild. Highs in the low 60s. A chance of showers and storms late Saturday night into Sunday. Highs stay in the low 60s. It's 55 right now.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. In the April 1st spring election, Susan Crawford won the incredibly expensive race for Wisconsin Supreme Court. And she didn't just win, but won decisively, gaining 55% of the vote, a 10-point margin ahead of her opponent, Brad Schimmel. It is a remarkable victory. And in so many ways, this race became a referendum on Elon Musk, from his prominent position in the Trump administration.
Hey, Terry, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Fabulous. Thanks. I know I sent you a lot of kind of goofy stuff tonight, so thank you.
Yeah, I put all the first, it's about a minute, 30 seconds. So
okay, cool.
All right,
Very cool.
we should be back. We'll be back in about 20 seconds.
Okay, thanks.
Growing? You're not alone. More people plant gardens every year. I'm Lisa Hale.
I'm Terry BARR. Don't know where to start? From soil to seed, we've got you covered on the next.
Time to check out original music with BARR Band Friday on Nightlight. Now, your host, Pete Schwaba, and special guest, Terry Barr.
It is that time of the week, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. TGIF BBF. Bar Band Friday. BBFN. How does that sound? Oh, I think we started something there, Terry. Terry
That was
Barr is here,
clever.
folks. Yeah, from Max Inc. Radio. She is one of the hosts and joins us here every Friday night for Bar Band Friday Night, which she was the inspiration for, and it's great to have you. It was just last week I was saying we were sitting there in person cutting a rug in the studio. It was fun.
That was a lot of fun, and I
Yeah.
think if I ever hear again you're in Madison, I'm going to join you.
Yes. All right. Fantastic. And we'll maybe bring some musicians in next time too, if we can.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I know the studio is kind of under construction, so to speak, but that was so much fun, and it's great to have you on the show tonight, Terry. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. It's always good to get to this point during the week because I know it means we're done at least for a few days, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got big plans this weekend?
Actually, one of the guest musicians
Oh,
that we're going to be
yeah.
talking about, yes, I
Let's
will
save
be.
that.
Yeah, I will
Let's
be
save
there
that.
with them tomorrow.
That's so fun. That you must have been. Well, we'll get into that. All right. Who do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Clyde, or should we start with Mr. Nielsen? It's your time,
It's
your
your
dance floor.
show, so you choose.
I know, but you know so much about the. All right, let's start with Clyde
Okay.
because
all
he's
right.
got a great story. This is also known as the Funky Drummer,
Yep.
Clyde Stubblefield. He played with James Brown. Tell us about Clyde.
I know. Isn't it incredible when you think of all the songs you know from James Brown? Clyde Stubblefield was his funky drummer. And what is happening right now? There is a young man who grew up in Madison. His dad got to be really good friends as a fellow drummer with Clyde because Clyde lived in Madison, Wisconsin for most of his adult
Oh,
life.
really?
People are still surprised to find that
Wow.
out.
So
Yeah.
that would have been like in the 60s, maybe 60s, 70s?
Oh, right up until now, he passed away a couple of years ago, but
Okay.
like that entire time period. After when, the whole James Brown thing at some point ended, he started doing his own showcases where he put together a band. They would play every week and they would bring other musicians up to play. So there are a number of Madison and Southern Wisconsin musicians that can brag and say, I got to sing while Clyde Stubblefield was on the drums.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So
Um,
he's a beloved figure by many people, but I think what is surprising, he is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. James Brown is alone as a solo, not with the band. So this young man that I spoke of, who's originally from Madison, Trevor Banks started a petition just a few weeks ago. He's got more than 2,000 people who have signed it, and people can sign it from anywhere. This doesn't have to be just Wisconsin, but he is working so hard to get the word out about Clyde Stubblefield, what he contributed to music, and why he deserves his own place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That is really something. So what made him, I mean, was it, and really, I've been told by so many musicians, Terry, the drummer drives the band, drives the song, drives, like, you can't really say, I mean, James Brown is James Brown. He's great, but like this, Clyde probably had a lot to do with that success and finding such great, well, what should we play first? We've got 2 clips of Clyde.
Well, and I think Conrad did a nice job and he actually put them together. So you'll hear me talking with Trevor, who's behind the
Okay.
petition right now, and you'll hear us talk about Give the Drummer Some, and then you will hear where James Brown calls out Clyde Stubblefield on stage to give the drummer some.
And and Conrad put these 2 together?
Yeah.
That is, I can't believe modern technology. I don't even have to talk in between. All right, that's fantastic. Well done, Con. Let's hear some Clyde Stubblefield and Terry Barr.
Clyde's imprint on music as we know it is so vast, and we've consumed it, we've recycled it, we've digested it and regurgitated it and Xeroxed and spit it out and danced to it in its purest form. And it's stood the test of time. It's transcended genre. It's transcended time and decades and eras. My motivation in getting Clyde's story out is to maintain that legacy that he deserves, to preserve his iconicness and his contributions to not just funk, not just hip hop, but like the global landscape of music. It's the reality. Like that's what Clyde contributed to the world. His impact and his fingerprint on music is so vast, and he's the foundation for so much. It's a crime that he's not, enshrined in an institution like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I found out through you, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland has some of Clyde's drumsticks on display.
Let's get a drummer song. All right? Get a drummer song. Get a drummer song. Get a drummer. Yo.
That is so cool.
The short version of this very long historical story. And when you hear those beats, here's something that people are still learning about Pete. His drum beats were used under songs done by LL Cool J, Run DMC, Public Enemy. But basically, when you talk to people, they took them without Clyde's okay. So Clyde got paid for any of the drum beats they used.
That is horrible. I
Isn't that
hate,
something? Yeah.
hate
And what
hearing
an
about
inspiration. All these people thought he was something as a drummer. So, they hear those beats and you can imagine like the funky music they could put to it. One other thing I want to tell you about who was really inspired by Clyde Stubblefield, Prince. The two never met, but Trevor, the gentleman I was talking to in that interview, Trevor told me that Prince paid all of Clyde Stubblefield's medical bills when he was in the hospital. He had bladder cancer and had close to $100,000 worth of medical bills. Prince paid it all. And the two never got to meet because they both passed away before they had a chance to meet.
Oh, that's awful.
I know.
What a cool story, though. Like, to me, Terry, artists should not do that to other artists. You don't take that is just such horrible karma, but it kind of like comes around when you hear the Prince story. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It makes me like Prince even more. You can hear more of that interview tomorrow night on
that Maxine Creo show?
That we know so much about. I was trying to think of Live in the Lair, but I couldn't. I was totally my brain totally shut down, so I was going to go Max.
That's okay. It'll be on at 9:30 if you need
Okay.
a particular time to listen. 9:30. The cool thing about the show tomorrow night, Trevor, again, the young guy I interviewed, his dad is going to be on as well. But his dad is hosting a big Clyde Stubblefield birthday celebration. So we're kind of coming at this from two different angles, trying to get Clyde's story done in a documentary, which Trevor is working on. Also, the petition to get him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then the third thing is just to celebrate his birthday.
That is really so. What was Trevor's connection to Clyde again? Just a fan, or did they work together?
No, Trevor was a little kid when he first met Clyde because his dad, Joey B. Banks, is a well-known drummer around town. Joey meets Clyde. They become great friends. They go to each other's house to play poker.
Come on.
And so Trevor said, "Oh yeah, Clyde would call, and I'm a little kid. I'm answering the phone, and it's like, I need to talk to your dad." And Trevor would say, "Wait, who are you?" "It's Clyde Stubblefield, you silly."
Clyde Stubblefield, Joey B. Banks. See, I could not. The names are just too cool. I could never fit in there, Terry. I need like a nickname like Sticks or something.
I know. I feel like I need one too now.
Oh, you got it. You got Terry BARR. BARR Band Friday Night is named after you.
Okay, thank you.
Terry BARR is with us. All right, let's move on to this is now I know you have a connection to this next artist you're bringing us, and this is pretty cool. Tell us about Mr. Nielsen now.
Yeah, I became a fan almost on accident. They were playing a show in Madison, and they play all over. I mean, they travel the world, another one of those. But they play in Wisconsin a lot because it's easy. They're based in Rockford, but
Yeah.
we claim Rockford as our own anyways.
Right.
Yeah. Well, his dad is, that guy, Rick Nielsen, that plays guitar and helped found the band Cheap Trick.
Absolutely.
I know. Well, and the funny story with Cheap Trick, they were discovered and signed to a record label at a bowling alley show they were playing in Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Get out of here. Oh,
Yeah.
that is fantastic.
So that's one fun little story.
Yeah.
And Rick obviously stayed in Rockford. That was his home. And so he raised his family there. So now you have Miles Nielsen, who has his own band called the Rusted Hearts.
Great name.
They're fabulous. And Miles plays guitar, I would say equally well as his dad. But very different kind of music, where his dad, obviously Cheap Trick is more pop rock. Miles has kind of gone off in this really cool Americana storytelling sort of vein. And they still hop in a big old van and drive wherever they need to do shows. And he has never wanted his dad to do something special for him. He wants to make it on his own. Now, Miles' brother, Dax, plays with Cheap Trick. So Dax is doing okay.
He's like, Dad, help me out. I'm fine with that. He has no problem.
Yeah, right. And Miles is like, no, thanks. I'm good. I can do this on my own. But they play I guess I would call it an annual show in Wisconsin Dells every year. It's called the Stampede. All of the Miles Nielsen and the Rusted Hearts fans are considered the herd. So now it's the Stampede. So the whole herd is coming to the Stampede.
That's so cool.
And this is happening this weekend.
And now there's something else that I think is cool. You're taking your bar band Friday night to the Wisconsin Dells. And what can people expect from you tomorrow night, Terry?
Oh, I guess, to say something like, let me introduce to you. I know.
But
You know
how did you,
that is. I know you did that with the film festival. It's so fun, isn't it?
You know what? I did that, but when it comes to music, I opened for Huey Lewis and the News in South Carolina years ago when I was a comedian. But at the time, Hootie and the Blowfish were the big band.
Oh.
And I almost said, please welcome to the stage, Huey Lewis and the News. Like I said, Huey, because I almost said Hootie. Such an idiot. But that makes me nervous, introducing bands. But how did you get involved with that?
Well, I have met them on and off now. That first show where I met them in Madison, I had a friend who had met them a long time ago and took me up to introduce me. They've played quite a few fundraisers that I've been a host of. And we've become, I would like to say, friends over time. And I just really believe in what they do. Their music is just gorgeous. So I'm honored to know them and call them a friend and be a little bitty baby part of the show.
That's fantastic. I'm sure it'll be a blast. All right, Terry BARR is here, ladies and gentlemen. It is a bar band Friday night. We have to do a very short break, and then we're going to come back and hear from Miles Nielsen and the Rusted Hearts. And before we do the break, let's read our Steady Eddie text for the night. He says, Pete, my favorite place to have a drink? Outside the Monona Golf Course Clubhouse, sitting in the shade on a warm, sunny afternoon with golf buddies after playing 9 holes of golf. I love that. Terry, when we come back, I'm going to ask you that same question. So think about where you like to sit and have a drink.
Let me think.
Terry BARR rocking us tonight on Night Light with Pete Schwaba. We're coming right back on the Civic Media Radio Network.
There's Building towers for ciders and anything at all. Fly the sky and sell the sky and leave the sky and tell the sky.
From De Pere to Swamico, 97.9 WGBW.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be non-stop as these high-octane boats reach speeds over 105 miles per hour. Located on the Menominee River, you'll be seated on the historic shoreline so you can witness all of the high adrenaline drama. The event is free and perfect for the entire family. Racing will be fierce with up to 100 boats and 18 heats a day. The action will be non-stop for the Queen Marinette Run the River Cup. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and will run throughout the day. It's Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races June 7th and 8th, free for the whole family. You won't want to miss this awesome event. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? WisCaregiver.com gets you started. Choose between two great options. Become a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. Training is free. Plus, earn a $500 bonus.
Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Light a rose now.
Despite what you're
everyone
hearing, it is a bar band Friday night. It is also National Barbershop Quartet Night. And I was in a barbershop quartet in high school and had so much fun with it. I still love the music.
Oh, I'd love to hear you sing.
No, you wouldn't, Terry. That would kill the whole party. I'm not going to do that. Thank you for playing that, Conrad, and indulging me. It is a bar band Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. Terry Barr is here, as she is just about every Friday night. We're talking about Miles Nielsen and the Rusted Hearts. Great name for a band. You sent us two songs. I think we're going to play Kentucky. Is that okay?
Oh, that is a wonderful song.
I love the song.
Yeah,
right,
and he wrote it in Kentucky when they were at a recording studio there. So it's just kind of about all the emotions and what he was thinking and feeling while they were there. And he was kind of missing some people. And you'll hear it all in the words.
It's a really cool song. I love it.
Yeah.
This is Miles Nielsen and the Rusted Hearts. He is the son of Rick Nielsen of Cheap Trick. And Terry will tell you more about what is going on with Cheap Trick that involves Terry tomorrow night in the Wisconsin Dells after we hear this great song called Kentucky.
Dear Kentucky, you're killing me. Take two. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, Kentucky, Kentucky, oh, why do you want me? Why do I lay at your feet? Well, you know I am easy and porous for whiskey. Rest me and put me to sleep. Well, Kentucky, Kentucky, you make it so easy. Kentucky, you're killing me. Well, now smoking is sexy and cigarettes on me. Sweet little southern dreams. Well, the ashtrays are smiling as I try to fill them, and that she wins every time. Well, Kentucky, Kentucky, you make it so easy. Kentucky, you're killing me. Dear Kentucky, you're killing me. Now what were you after? Now I'm a disaster. Who needs looking after? Let's hang from the rafters and sing. Well, Kentucky, Kentucky, oh, why do you want me? Why do I lay at your feet? All this talk about bluegrass and I'm seeing green. In Lexington I was obscene. Well, Kentucky, Kentucky, you make it so easy. Kentucky, you're killing me. Dear Kentucky, you're killing me. Dear Kentucky, you're killing me.
Great song. Very different than Cheap Trick, but a really nice tune. Wow, I really like that.
They can rock out too.
Yeah.
But
The other song you sent, it was a little more of a rocker, but
a
that
little
was
more upbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is called Heavy Metal, and you can look it up on YouTube, and they have an official video that goes with it.
Yeah,
They also do a great version of a couple of Cheap Trick's really popular songs, but they do those songs in their own way. And
Oh,
it's just
nice.
really fun to hear these done by somebody related to the Cheap Trick band, but they're still doing it their own way.
I love that. All right, so tell us again, Terry, what is happening tomorrow night? Let's get one more plug in. This sounds like so much fun.
Oh, it is. It is. And people come from all over to be part of the Stampede. This is an annual event. Miles invites other bands to come and be part of it as well. And they'll do in the afternoon a singer-songwriter, storyteller thing. Then each night there'll be a concert with whatever bands are invited. And of course, Miles and his band headline. But the cool thing is, if you've never seen a band in the basement of Monk's Bar and Grill, it's true, it's a listening room. That's what it's billed as. So when you go to see a band there, nobody talks. You are there for the
Wow.
music. Yeah.
I love that. I
I
just
do
came
too.
from the film festival crowds where they're all like with you, or like, it's just
Ugh.
those kind of crowds are few and far between. That's fantastic. Well, have a great time. And we've got about a minute left, Terry. Where do you like to have a drink? What's your
no.
favorite space to have a drink where it's just Terry, no one else?
Oh.
Dive bar, nice bar, porch, living room. Where's Terry kicking back?
5 years ago, I probably would have answered this differently, that it would have been in live music spaces.
Yeah.
But I've really come to like my deck in the last few years. Listening to the Brewers game or picking the music I want to listen to. And of course, we will often crank it up. Maybe the neighbors say, "Oh, what are you listening to tonight?"
That's fantastic.
But there's something about sitting out and the sun is still up and just having that nice cool drink and some great music or some great Brewers action.
That is a phenomenal answer. Thank you, my friend. Have a great night and have a great time tomorrow night.
Oh, thank you. You guys, happy weekend.
You too, Terry. Thanks so much. That's Terry BARR. Check out Max Inc. Radio tomorrow. And I would like to thank all my guests, Dr. Kristen Lyerly, Sean Hanish from Just a Bit Outside, Terry BARR, and thank you for all your texts. Monday night from Arts for All Wisconsin, Christina Martin Wright will be here, and Milwaukee-based comedian Dana Ehrman. We'll light it up Monday style. In the meantime, everybody, have a great weekend. And Con, you have a great weekend too.
Thanks.
You got it. On behalf of the lovable producer Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
Take me to your best friend's house.